Rapper Kanye West has been back on Twitter for less than 2 weeks, and he's already brought the social media company to its knees. In an epic 4-day rampage through cyberspace, West has endorsed pundit Candace Owens, the pro-Trump pundit Candace Owens, shared videos by Scott Adams, posted a photograph of himself in a Make America Great Again hat, and earned 2 retweets from the President of the United States. Well, progressives are almost unconscious with rage. Rolling Stone magazine calls West's tweet, quote, a real threat. They don't say what it's a real threat to, but they clearly mean it. Author and columnist Mark Stein knows what it's a threat to, and he joins us tonight. Mark, what are Kanye West tweets a threat to, would you say?
Well, they're a threat to the lockstep homogeneity of popular culture in the United States. And to a certain extent, I'm not unsympathetic to that. You know, some people are mocking us conservatives because we're such Squaresville daddios that when some groovy hepcat that all the beatniks dig, like Kanye West, comes along, we all get so excited that, you know, we're thrilled that he's looking at us. We're the square, frumpy wallflower at the prom, and he's given us the eye. And to be honest, I quite like the fact that the right has been celebrated. I mean, I remember in the 2000 election going to the Republican convention and being given the folder showing which celebrities were supporting George W. Bush. And when I say folder, it was an attractive piece of letter-sized paper with 2 names on one side. There was Pat Boone and one of the Oak Ridge boys. I can't remember which Oak Ridge boy. I think there's 9 of them. 7 of them are Democrats, 1's a Green, but whichever Oak Ridge boy it was supporting George W. Bush. And I think, and there was something terribly refreshing in having no purchase on pop culture. But the fact is, we're not really excited. It's not so much the excitement from our end; it's the fact that Kanye, at his end, is sick of being told what to think. The boxes that the left has built for its celebrity supporters are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And a self-respecting man like this guy doesn't want to be put in that box, and he just wants to bust out of that box.
Wait, are you saying that art is not the same thing as conformity?
I am, and oddly enough, it's strange to me because art is they've always got on about how transgressive they are. We need transgressive artists to bust the bounds of this and bust the bounds of that, and then they demand that all the transgressive artists march in lockstep with the approved ideology. Now I will say this, Tucker, that I think this is in a way a sort of obvious correction. Trump is a showbiz figure. He did beauty pageants and he did a reality show. He's on the Regis Philbin Christmas album, firing Blitzen and hiring Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, I would have voted for President Philbin if I could, but the guy who's on the Regis Philbin Christmas album is a pretty good second place. And if you think about it from Kanye's point of view, if he walks into a room and there's Chuck Schumer and there's Elizabeth Warren and over in the other corner is Donald Trump, who is Kanye going to go and talk to?
No, it's
He's going to go and talk to Trump. This, in a sense, is a natural correction to the insanity that the celebrity left has maintained since November 2016.
Well, but that's one of the reasons they've always hated Trump, because he's so off-grid, for good and bad, that he represented the possibility of a real alignment. And they hate that. That's a threat to their business. And so that's why they shut down all dissent, or any affinity for him needs to be punished immediately, because otherwise this could happen.
Yeah, and I think they understand. I mean, the Rolling Stone piece is interesting to me because the guy sounds as if he's really scared. The pop culture acts as the great enforcer in America, and everyone knows that culture is upstream of politics. If you control pop culture, the politics will follow. It's not the Supreme Court. You know, when Anthony Kennedy licenses gay marriage, he's just saying that the pop culture has told him to get on side, in effect. It's bigger than anything. So when, for example, Shania Twain, a couple of days ago, she gives an interview to The Guardian saying that if she'd been American, she'd have voted for Donald Donald Trump. Immediately, Shania is clubbed into a pulp and is made to apologize and back down. And, and that's pathetic for Shania. Man, I feel like a woman. Man, I feel like a celebrity who has the guts to stand up to this. And I'm embarrassed for my country that Shania Twain from Timmins, Ontario, God bless her, didn't have the guts to do what Kanye did and say, get lost, I think for myself.
But I still like her. Mark Stein, Amanda, thanks for himself. I always learn something from this segment. I'm grateful to you for that. Thank you.
Even if it's only Shania's hometown. Now you know.
Which is good to know. See ya.
Thanks, Tucker.
Well, the disaster over at NBC with Joy Reid is getting worse and worse, and now the FBI is involved. We'll investigate the latest developments in that coming up next.
All right, this morning, President Trump, during his interview on Fox and Friends, said this about Kanye West. Take a listen.
Kanye looks and he sees black unemployment at the lowest it's been in the history of our country, okay? He sees Hispanic unemployment at the lowest it's been in the history of our country. He sees, by the way, female unemployment, women unemployment, the lowest it's been in now almost 19 years. He sees that stuff, and he's smart. And he says, you know what? Trump is doing a much better job than the Democrats did.
Meanwhile, last night, leftist, liberal, late-night hosts, they go after Kanye West. Why? Because he supports Donald Trump. Why? Take a look.
We have the right to independent thought. Yes, we have the right to independent thought, and I independently think that Kanye has lost his mind. Donald Trump is your brother. It is true. I am your brother, too. And brother to brother, I just want to say, put the phone down.
Kanye West tweeted pictures this afternoon of a Make America Great Again hat he got from President Trump. In response, Trump tweeted pictures with some clothes that Kanye got him.
Like, I don't even know what happened here. I think Kanye West just realized he's too rich to not be Republican. I don't even know what it is.
So now Donald Trump has two black friends. He's got... I hope Ben Carson doesn't get jealous.
All right, joining us now with reaction, civil rights attorney Daryl Parks and Turning Point USA Communications Director Candace. Owens is in studio. So great to have you.
I'm so glad.
You actually are part of this story. Kanye first defended you.
That is absolutely right. Apparently, it was my brain that launched this ideological civil war in the black community, and I am so excited about it. This is a tremendous time to be alive as a black American. We've been existing under this facade, these lies the Democrats have orchestrated, because they consider us a low information voter market, you know, and so they think we're not going to research the stats and we'll never find out.
I hate the race card. It's played every election year.
Absolutely.
Every single election year. It drives me nuts. You know, 14 states, Daryl, now have record low unemployment, record low. Black Americans, record low. Hispanic Americans, record low. Women in America, record low. Unemployment records. That is since Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. Is that good for America? Obama had 8 years, 13 million more Americans on food stamps, 8 million more Americans in poverty. That was his legacy. Who's doing a better job? Who's doing a better job?
Well, Sean, first of all, I don't know how President Trump could take responsibility for that progress. That still doesn't deal with the real issue. The real issue is that black Americans are still having great difficulty, and the unemployment for black Americans is twice that of whites.
Until every forgotten man and woman has a job and a trajectory to the life they want in this great free country. You're not answering my questions. Look at these numbers.
But
now
we
I have
agree
you.
in some ways.
How did Obama fail with 13 million more Americans on food stamps? Did he fail? Did he fail with 8 million more in poverty 8 years later?
No, he did not fail at all. He did not fail at all. I think what he did was he made black America a focus. What I want to see, though, is President Trump to show us that black America is a priority for him and to have specifics as to how he plans to do that. There are issues in mental health,
he's
education,
skating around the issue, and it's okay. I actually like when they do this, have these delusional responses. Just admit that the blacks are doing better under the Trump presidency. That's totally fine, but it's this refusal to admit it, and blacks are going to start doing the research, and they're going to start seeing what's going on.
I have been frustrated. Al Gore, Republicans don't even want to count you in the census, or, you know, the change in tone and cadence before predominantly Black American audiences, I always felt was insulting. But the policies, you know, look at what Kanye said, 4,000 American souls slaughtered in Chicago. We once scrolled the names. We heard about Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. We heard about Freddie Gray, Baltimore. We heard about Ferguson. I scrolled the names. We never heard of these 4,000 people shot and killed.
Well, listen, that's because Chicago is run by Democrats, and they never want to hold up a mirror to what they're doing, so that's why we never heard those names. 4,000, that's exactly right. That's the exact same number, about the same number of Americans that were slaughtered in the Iraq War. Right? It's a war zone. And Trump offered to send the National Guard, and the Democrats majorly opposed him. So what it comes down to is Trump is trying to be effective there, and we're seeing that we have so many great results in Black America because of him.
What do you say to Daryl?
But Sean, let me say this, though. I think I want to hear from our president to tell us that something about Black America is a priority for him tomorrow. I would love to hear him focus on mental health, education, health care. Those are issues that he can help us with tomorrow.
Yeah, Obamacare worked out great for everybody.
Those issues.
Well, look, it sounds like you're signing up for 8 years of Trump. That's what it really comes down to, because he's doing a great job, the numbers are better, and he needs more time in office to continue to do an amazing job. So it sounds like you're almost aboard the Trump train, which makes me feel happy. We're agreeing on something here.
Well, let me say something. I want to see Trump be successful because this is our country, but I don't think he is focusing on the issues that really affect Black America. I hope he would, though.
So then you must agree that Obama was not focusing whatsoever on the issues that were affecting Black America if you don't think that Trump is right now, because the numbers are in and blacks are doing better under his administration.
I love President Obama, and I don't think we should spend any more time trying to put him down.
I think it's important to show that things are a lot different, and it's important because for so long they have told us that because there was a Black president, this meant progress. Progress is not a skin tone. Progress is a number, okay? And for so long we've been convinced, look, he's taking a photo op with Beyonce and Jay-Z. That means absolutely nothing. Chicago got worse while Obama was in office, and he came from there. That's what I mean, you can't dispute the facts here.
Is this a cultural shift? Is this going to have...
We are on the brink of a cultural shift, and I can tell you right now, it is going to be amazing to watch. And I'm so happy that it starts with a single tweet. And I did predict it. I said Kanye West would be the person that broke culture. I said the last time,
when I interviewed you earlier in the week, it's going to be fun to watch your trajectory and your rise. You're a superstar.
Thank you
and it's
so
an honor
much.
to know you and have you. And I still like Daryl, even though we disagree on everything. Daryl, good to see you. When we come back, incredible news and pictures out of North Korea. For the first time ever, a North Korean dictator has gone to South Korea. We've got it for you.
But first, the new counterculture. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Entertainment elites are in total freakout mode. Why? Because one of its megastars, Kanye West, announced that he's thinking for himself. It kind of felt like a cultural earthquake over the weekend when West tweeted that he liked the way a conservative Black activist thought. And yesterday, he followed this up with a string of pro-Trump tweets that has the internet exploding. He declared his love for Trump and extolled the dragon energy they share. What is that? And he refused to let the mob shake his love for the president. Now, look, this isn't about celebrating one superstar's endorsement of Donald Trump. What I'm going to be talking about is shining a light on the most intolerant crowd out there. You know, the people who claim that they have a monopoly on tolerance and inclusion. Think about this. Other than academia, there really are few industries that the American left dominates like it does entertainment. For Kanye's sin of speaking his mind, musical icons like Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Nicki Minaj, and Rihanna unfollowed him on social media. What a punishment. And the reaction from elsewhere on the left was just as pronounced.
Two different celebrities desperate for attention and finding ways, whether it's positive or negative, to get it.
Now his wife is tweeting back at people basically saying, don't be too hard on my husband. Don't necessarily make it seem like he's going through some sort of mental breakdown, which we know he's had mental health problems.
Like, I don't even know what happened here. I think Kanye West just realized he's too rich to not be Republican. I don't even know what it is.
We have the right to independent thought, and I independently think that Kanye has lost his mind.
Is Steven still in character? I always forget. Look, original thought will not be tolerated by this crowd. And anyone who breaks from the Borg mindset must be shunned or bullied back into the fold. Kanye shared a text exchange with R&B superstar John Legend. Love John Legend. Love his music. But this text exchange today illustrates the point I'm making. Legend writes, "I hope you'll reconsider aligning yourself with Trump. You're way too powerful and influential to endorse who he is and what he stands for. So many people who love you feel betrayed right now because they know the harm that Trump's policies cause, especially for people of color. Don't let this be part of your legacy." Well, Kanye West wasn't impressed. He responded, "I love you, John, but bringing up my fans or my legacy is a tactic based on fear used to manipulate my free thought." He's right. I can't believe I'm saying on my show Kanye West is right. He's right about this. Anyone who dares to question the ideological orthodoxy of the left, particularly a black artist, must be brought back into line. Now, let's talk turkey here. Whether Kanye West is brilliantly punking today's censorious elites or whether he's sincerely expressing a belief about the president, it's almost immaterial. Kanye West, I think, has cracked open the door on the glaring hypocrisy of the left. Now, they claim to defend minority rights until a minority disagrees with them. They claim to be for diversity until a truly diverse viewpoint is heard. What West might have unwittingly done is made it a little easier for others to stand up against this herd mentality. He did receive some support for his independence. Chance the rapper, he's on my playlist, hardly a conservative voice, tweeted this: "Black people don't have to be Democrats." Can't believe it, so scandalous. Now, I don't for a moment think that Kanye West is a second de Tocqueville or the new MLK, all right? I have vivid memories of him I think it was at some televised fundraiser in the wake of Hurricane Katrina.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
That wasn't nice. And I can also remember when he rudely rushed the stage to try to take a music award from Taylor Swift. That also wasn't nice. 15 years ago, yes, 15 years ago, I can hardly believe it, I wrote a book called Shut Up and Sing, which was in part a critique of the political activism of all these high-paid celebrities like the Dixie Chicks, Barbra Streisand, Jackson Browne, the list went on and on. The upshot is we pay them to entertain. We don't want to be captive to their political ponderings. Someone who, for some ungodly reason, does get paid to pontificate on politics, her name is Ms. Anna Navarro, tweeted at me today the following. She said, "Has Ms. Ingram told Kanye to shut up and sing yet? Or does that only apply to anti-Trump black celebrities?" I'll make it clear to you, Anna. It applies to anyone peddling political nonsense while lacking the credentials or experience to do so. Anna. Well, I'm not about to cheer the political pronouncements of Kanye West just because he's saying something nice about Trump. No. The political musings of uninformed celebrities, frankly, isn't of much interest to me at all. But I'll tell you what is interesting to me, the over-the-top reaction to a big star saying something truly countercultural today. That's of great interest to me. Watching the left attack him for daring to break ranks with them, even in the vaguest of terms, talking about love and loving people, that is truly revealing. What Kanye West says or does in the days ahead, it's less important than the conversation he started. And who would have thought that a bad boy like Kim Kardashian's husband could be the catalyst for an honest discussion about the coerced conformity of thought that the celebrity culture has imposed on all of us? And that's the angle. For some answers, we're joined by Niger Innis, national spokesman for the Congress of Racial Equality, and Democratic strategist Joel Payne. All right, Joel, have at it. You heard my point of view on this, and Kanye's gotten hit from, again, I'm not a big fan of Kanye West, but he's getting hit by everybody out there.
Well, Laura, this isn't really news to me, right? You've got one rich, famous millionaire supporting another rich, famous millionaire. Neither of them understand the problems that regular Americans face. It's not surprising to me that Kanye West would be down with Donald Trump. I don't think that should be a shock to anybody. What about you, Niger? What do you think?
Oh, what I think is amazing is that you are talking about rich millionaires. You guys within the Democrat left-wing group have many more millionaire hypocrites that have been blessed by being in this capitalist country where you have free will to make money, and somehow promotes this socialism that actually traps people that look like you and me, blacks and browns and poor white folk. Well, so I don't get this hypocrisy of blaming Kanye for being a brave celebrity within Hollywood, where he pays a penalty for that. By the way, not just him. You had Steve Harvey, who paid a penalty just for visiting Donald Trump. Remember that? Okay. You had Martin Luther King's son blamed, for actually just visiting the president.
Both of them, by the way, within 6 months regretted that because Donald Trump proved to be exactly
that's not true.
Okay,
because of the intellectual tyranny of you guys.
Let's talk about what Donald Trump has done for African Americans in a moment. But Kanye West tweeted out yesterday, Obama was in office 8 years and nothing in Chicago changed. It's kind of a substantive point. Now, what has changed under Donald Trump? Black home ownership under Obama was 46.1% in 2009, but in 2017 it's 42.7%. It's gone up a bit. Median household income for blacks. Median household income for blacks under Obama in 2008, 37,809, and then it went up to 37,211. But it ended up going down in 2011. So, Barack Obama didn't exactly kind of deliver the big results. I mean, these are kind of like...
These are all Barack Obama's numbers. You guys know this. This is Barack Obama's economy still. Why don't you guys just send the card? Hey, I know the address in Chicago. Just send the card to Barack Obama. I know people over there who you can reach out to.
The point of that, the point of that particular graphic is median household income. That's like how much money you bring home, right? That's really important. And it wasn't just under Obama. It was also in part under Bush, too.
Barack Obama did the hard work there that Donald Trump is reaping the benefits of.
Food stamp participation.
Let's not be wrong.
Food stamp participation went up 4.4% under Obama among African Americans
as well. Is that why Ben Carson yesterday announced that he's going to triple the
cost? We're not talking about. Well, you know what my point.
But I'm just making a point. Is that why?
Right. We're making a substantive point, and look, I want to be fair here because I want Joel to get his point out.
Sure.
But I think to say just reflexively, Donald Trump's bad for black people. The economy is soaring. Jobs, manufacturing's coming back. That's good for all people.
Laura. Yeah.
And when you say about the millionaires, I get what you're saying. He's out of touch. But he wasn't out of touch with the working class people. That's why they rejected the globalist Republicans, and they went with, it's kind of odd, this millionaire guy who said, you're given a raw deal by this system that's not performed. He went after Republicans and Democrats, Joel, and he got those people to turn out and vote for him. So I don't think that's a fair criticism of Trump, because those working class people, that was gold for Trump. They really came out for him.
The reason that Trump did so well in places like Michigan and Pennsylvania, came within a couple of points of winning Minnesota, is because of the grassroots.
But Niger, he got 9%, I guess, of African Americans. That's a little more than Romney, but boy, do Republicans need to do better.
13% of the black male vote, and I fear and I feel sorry for my brother Joe because he's afraid. We break into this monopoly that Democrats have had for over 40 years. The Democratic Party's in trouble. Let me tell you something, Laura. It's not, by the way, it's not just, and God bless Candace. God bless Kanye West. I am a fan, okay? I love what he's doing. But it's not just happening on the airwaves. Today, I just came from a conference called Impact, standing for Multicultural Political Action Conference. 500 blacks, Latinos, Asians, conservatives, all supporting Donald Trump and the Republican Party. There is something, there's a cultural revolution that is taking place.
I didn't even know about this conference.
And I know, Brother Joel, I feel sorry. I know you're terrified of it, but it's coming, brother. Get ready.
Just your point about black men, you're absolutely right, which continues to prove my point that black women continue to be at the tip of the spear.
That's good. That's good.
Right? Am I right about that?
They come behind, brother.
Are you disagreeing?
No, okay. Oh, God forbid. I would never disagree with you on black women being at the tip of the spear.
Well, this is what Trump said. I'm all for the women. I'm all for the women. I'm all for the African American women, but we're going to get more of them to be Republican. This is what Donald Trump.
Diamond and Silk are doing something about that.
This is what Donald Trump said today on Fox and Friends about Kanye. Let's watch.
Kanye looks and he sees black unemployment at the lowest it's been in the history of our country, okay? He sees that stuff, and he's smart. And he says, you know what? Trump is doing a much better job than the Democrats did.
Well, I mean, I think that's what Kanye actually believes. Seriously, how has life for African Americans over the last 14 months how has it deteriorated under Donald Trump?
I appreciate Donald Trump not breaking the glass on the way in for the last 14 months that Barack Obama built. Barack Obama built a strong house and a strong foundation that Donald Trump is reaping the benefits of. So I appreciate that in 14 months he hasn't broken it yet. He's still got time, though. There's plenty of time for him to break it.
Let me tell you one bit of glass that Donald Trump was attempting to break before the Democrat establishment in Chicago prevented him from breaking it, and that is the crime wave, that is the war zone, that is the killing fields of black and brown people in Chicago, Barack Obama's hometown, where he did nothing for 8 years. Fact is, in 1 year, it was horrifying. I think it was 2016. There were more blacks killed in Chicago than Iraq and Afghanistan combined.
Barack Obama is the reason why there's violence in Chicago. Hey, how many guns?
Are you saying that Barack Obama, who started off being a community organizer, still keeps in touch with people with cool celebrities like Jay-Z, that he could not, has this man as mayor in Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, and he couldn't do anything about the crime?
Well, it's been governed by Democrats. But guys, this Jason Johnson, who's the Roots political editor.
I know Jason pretty well.
Yeah, so he basically said that the president is out of touch. And can we play it, guys? I know we're running late, but I want to play this and get these guys to react.
When the president starts bragging about all the things he's done for black folk, Kanye West doesn't represent black people. Listen to All Falls Down. This man has been lost for years. And so the fact that the president is still so out of touch that he thinks that talking about a lost, sunken place rapper who married into a reality TV family is somehow reflective of how black people in this country think, that shows this president has no idea what it takes to make America great.
Niger.
Wow. I now know who my Lord of Blackness is. Who determines who's black and who's not black?
He's not an authentic black because he married into the Kardashian family. Wow. What is he getting at there?
Interesting. I think that actually Kanye brought more to that relationship than the Kardashians.
What?
It was a mutually reassuring relationship.
What Jason was saying is exactly what I said at the beginning. This is one wealthy millionaire supporting another wealthy millionaire who's made his life easier and made the lives of 97% of the Americans.
Right, but Rihanna's a millionaire.
That buys his albums harder.
Yeah.
And you cannot disprove that.
And Jay-Z and the entire entertainment Hollywood complex.
They actually have perspective.
Trying to promote an agenda
that
is contrary to what made them their millions.
Agenda does not serve the people who
You know what I think? I think Donald Trump wants more people to be millionaires. I think he's not like Mitt Romney, who's kind of always apologizing for being rich.
He would respect that if everyone was a millionaire.
What he's trying to do is he's trying to bring more wealth and opportunity back to this country by redoing these trade deals, by bringing manufacturing back, by encouraging people in entrepreneurship.
By kicking out immigrants and breaking up families. By making it harder to afford health care.
But actually, Joel, I will say this again. I will say this. If you think the way to help the African American community is to flood places like Chicago with thousands and thousands of indigent laborers, I guess we're on just, I don't get how that
and the operative word is illegally, okay? It's not a question
that doesn't help African Americans get jobs.
As long as they're not from bleep hole countries. Let's just make sure that.
Well, I don't care what country you're from. If you're here illegally and you come here and you're taking jobs from working class Americans, whether they're white, Latino, or black, it's not helping anyone.
This is the ultimate, whose side are you on?
Right, we're on the American side.
Donald Trump and Kanye versus the rest of us, the 97% of us that live in the real world.
You know what? I think the wonderful sisters are going to follow that 13%.
I think Kanye has opened people can come out of the closet as conservatives, right? They're always in the closet as conservatives. Maybe a few more will come out then.
Revolution is coming. And Brother Joel is nervous.
Joel's coming.
I don't blame you.
We're bringing Joel. We're bringing Joel. Joel is too cool not to be with us. I love Joel. Anyway, everybody. Okay, great segment. Jim Comey made a number of eyebrow raising. I can't raise my eyebrow like I was trying to do that. Raising assertions in his Fox News interview tonight, like the one about the infamous Russian dossier.
My understanding was the activity was begun, that Steele was hired to look into, was first funded by Republicans, then picked up, the important thing was picked up by Democrats opposed to Donald Trump.
Well, wrong. We're going to set the record straight next with top experts on the subject, including Congressman Jim Jordan and Byron York. Stay there.
His trip as it develops. But back here at home, we got to talk about Kanye West letting John Legend know that he means business when he supports President Donald Trump. Carly Shimkus with Fox News Headlines 24/7 SiriusXM 115 is here with the text messages that the rapper just shared on Twitter. This was really something, though. Probably, you know, they were considered private, but he was like, I'm just going to let the whole world know.
Yeah, that's right. So singer and vocal Trump critic John Legend trying to get Kanye West to change his mind about supporting President Trump. So West shared screen grabs of their text conversations to Twitter, where Legend says, I hope you'll reconsider aligning yourself with Trump. You're way too powerful and influential to endorse who he is and what he stands for. So many people who love you feel so betrayed right now because they know the harm that Trump's policies cause, especially to people of color. Don't let this be part of your legacy. Well, West responded saying, I love you, John, and I appreciate your thoughts. You bringing up my fans or my legacy is a tactic based on fear used to manipulate my free thought. So it looks like Kanye West is sticking to his guns. Roseanne Barr responded to this, tweeting, I'm a dragon too. Now she's referring to Kanye West claims that he and Trump have dragon energy. And Rebecca on Twitter also says, I'm a new Kanye West fan. We should all be able to think freely without retribution from others or coercion to do anything other than who we are. So it looks like he is, you know, maybe alienating some fans, but gaining others.
Well, you know, he's got a good point, though. It's all about the conversation, and you can disagree with your friends, but you can still talk about it and, you know, try to hear each other's arguments out.
Completely agree with you there.
All right, Kanye West facing some heat for his Twitter rant in which he shared his praise for his, quote, brother, President Trump.
Chance the Rapper chiming in, tweeting, black people don't have to be Democrats.
Here to weigh in on all of this is Chicago native and Fox News political analyst Gianno Caldwell. Gianno, thanks so much for coming on this morning.
You know, just came in from Chicago, actually, from the airport, so I'm glad to be here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we're glad to have you. Absolutely. You know, looking at this thing, I mean, it's pretty interesting. These two must really believe in the message that they sent out this week because, you know, Hollywood almost has this silence the other side kind of mentality, silence the non-liberals mentality, and it doesn't usually go so well for people that are seemingly somewhat conservative if they're in that industry, right?
And it's not surprising. There's been such a demonization on the left that people are seemingly forced to capitulate to political correctness from the very start without hesitation. So when it comes to Kanye West, a figure who's obviously been unapologetic and unrelenting in his thoughts and views about himself and what he's able to do, it's not surprising to me that he would love a figure, President Trump, who's also unrelenting in his thought process. We saw it in 2016 election when he said things that some people disagree with, and we saw the outrage from people on the left. And instead of him pulling back because he was losing millions in business deals, he doubled down. And I think that's something that Kanye West loved to see in his brother, Donald Trump.
Gianna, I want to get your take on this because, admittedly, I've been a fan of John Legend and Chrissy Teigen for years now. I think they're hilarious. But what I saw yesterday, and I think a lot of people would agree, was really appalling. You look at the text message from John Legend to Kanye West that Conway posted on Twitter, and you can see it's very lengthy. But in part, it says, I hope you'll reconsider aligning yourself with Trump. You're way too powerful and influential to endorse who he is and what he stands for. It goes down to say, don't let this be a part of your legacy. Kanye West clearly had an issue with this. What is your opinion?
I thought Kanye handled it beautifully, and I thought that showed us the side of Kanye that we don't necessarily see. He said, hey, I feel like what you're doing is trying to manipulate me, is a fear-based tactic. but I love you, John. And I thought that was really, really powerful. And I think a true testament to what it could be in today's day and age when politics is so polarizing and individuals have different opinions. So instead of you saying, because I appreciate or support the President of the United States, I can't be your friend or I disown you, you can say we have different views of opinion, but yet we can still love one another and move forward.
It's just an example, though, I think, of someone on the left trying to persuade someone on the right, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, you can't.
This is wrong.
Don't think for yourself. Absolutely. Let's talk about Chicago, Gianna. That's where you're from. The big tweet, I thought, was when he really went after President Obama. Nothing in Chicago changed while Obama was in office. You guys have some big problems there. The crime rate, the murders, the guns. I mean, if you go back to 2008 when Obama was elected, there was this massive amount of hope from the black community. And we remember seeing the video from the inner cities. I mean, it really looked like a hopeful moment for those communities. Were they forgotten in the 8 years of that administration? Did President Obama get a pass by being so charming and so loved that his policies being ineffective, nobody really called him out on that?
It was all hope and not even spare change. It was disappointing what we saw with President Obama. And I talked about this on WGCI, which is the largest urban radio station in Illinois, just yesterday, where the president had the ability to really help and play a very big part in Chicago and its development, especially when it comes to the violence in Chicago. There was a state representative, a Democrat, by the way, by the name of LaShawn Ford, who requested the National Guard, I believe, in 2010. Now, maybe you don't want to send a National Guard, but there's certainly federal resources that you could send that could stem the violence and provide funding for programmatic activity for youth. I mean, there's a number of things that could have been done, and I think there was a lot of missed opportunity. One thing that I can say about Kanye West, though, and this is actually breaking news, he just created a group called Donda Social, which Donda is obviously after his mom, Donda West, where he's going into Chicago with individuals like Chance the Rapper and others that listen to the concerns of the people of Chicago and bring in resources. We're talking about money. So I think Chance the Rapper and Common, actually, Common is who's a rapper as well. So I think those are really big improvements. And instead of us just talking about who didn't do something, we're actually going and being a part of the change we want to see in the world. And I hope that I can be a part of that same mission.
That's cool. Who would have thought a week ago today that this would be something we'd be talking about as heavily as we are?
Came out of left field. Gianna, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It is 30.